guys, Samantha from Samantha Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a cute Mokume Gane bangle. Now I'm going to be using Polymer today, and I've got a couple colour recipes. This is the first one, second one, and then third one as shown in the colour recipe template before the start of this intro. Then I also have some burnt umber, black, and some white primer, and all of these were rolled out on the thickest setting of my buster machine. Put the black to the side, that will get worked with in a bit. For now I want to make skinner blends with all four of these colours, so I'm just going to pop those to the side, and I am going to cut a square from the white. Just grab that, pop it into a triangle and trim the edges. And everything I'm doing here you would do with all of the other remaining colours. Then this one is the smallest colour, so this is the triangle that I'm actually going to use as a reference point size wise. So I'm just going to cut that and then pop that together like so. Do the same with the other three. Okay, and there we go. Then you're going to turn each of those into a skinner blend. So let me just move these out of the way and I will show you how to do that by hand. You can also do it using a pasta machine, which will go much quicker. But basically you're just going to take that and you're going to roll it like so and fold it, and you're going to fold it the same way every time, and then you're going to roll it again and fold it again, and then just continue that process of rolling and folding until your clay is a blend. Okay, and there we go. Those are all four of them blended. And I haven't worried about making the blends completely smooth. You can still see some streaks between the colours, and that's something I want because it leaves a little bit of a uneven effect in the finished piece, and that is something that I'm looking for. If you want a completely smooth blend, just continue rolling more. Then for each of these, what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half one more time like so, forming a rectangle, and then you're going to roll the opposite way that you have been rolling, either from the coloured side to the white side or the other way. Either way you're going to be stretching out the blend like so. Then you're going to take it and you're going to start from the white side of the blend, and you're going to take that and you're going to roll up the whole length like so, creating a skinner blend plug. And then you're going to do the same for all three. There we go. Then you're going to take each of these and you're going to reduce them down. And the way you do that is you just take this and you just give it a squeeze on either end, and that will get the cane reducing. Give it a roll, and I want to reduce it down so that I can cut out about 6 from each piece, or each skinner blend plug that is. So I'll just stretch that out, and this is just a general idea. I need to cut off the edge, and all of these scraps are fantastic. Keep them, they make perfect bits for leftover projects. If you're interested in seeing a video done using the leftovers, let me know in the comments and I will probably get to one. Reduce all of them down to the same size, and to reduce waste on the ends, I like to just press on either end to get it to the same, all of the pieces to the same size, and then I'll start reducing it down. go. Then I'm going to take those and I'm just going to pop them together. I'm going to use the lightest colour followed by the darkest colour. I'm just going to press those together like so. So they're all the same length. Then give it a trim, and the way you work out how you want to trim them is by using whatever you are going to use to cut out your bracelet. This is the bracelet that I'm using. It's one of my newest bracelet cutters that I sell on my Etsy store, Jessima Design. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out lengths based on each of these. Just go up the bracelet like so, cutting out those lengths just about, and you should end up with more than you need. And that should just about do. I'm going to pop that to the side, but that's extras just in case. And then this I'm going to grab. I'm going to place it like so. Just double checking each time I place them down to make sure that I'm getting the correct width. And I'm checking it out this way to see how it looks, if I'm happy with that. And I think that looks quite nice. Okay, then what I'll do is I'll just press them down together just so that they're all pressed into one piece. And then I'm going to take that black clay from right at the beginning of the tutorial and I'm going to roll that out on the thinnest setting of my pasta machine so that I can stretch it over this. So don't flatten this out too much yet. Okay, here's the black. I'm going to run that out as thin as I can get it. Okay, and you should end up with something that looks something like this. You take that and you're going to place that over the top and then just burnish it into place over those pieces. Okay, and then trim away the extra clay. Okay, then grab your roller and just give it a good old roll to flatten everything out and get it nice and even, ready to be textured. Okay, and that should just about work. And I'm not even going to move it, I'm going to just texture it exactly as it is. And the first thing to do before you texture it is to grab some cornstarch or water, I prefer cornstarch, and just brush that over the surface to create a non-stick situation. Then grab your texture stamp of choice. I'm using this cute little monstera leaf texture and this kind of burnt bark texture, and give those a dust with cornstarch. I prefer cornstarch because it creates a more even effect in my opinion. Then take the monstera leaf one and position it so that it's just about in the middle, and grab a roller and apply as much pressure as you can to that texture. There we go. Then grab your bark texture and repeat that process. There we go. And then before you do anything, make sure that you dust it and then apply it again. And I'm overlapping it slightly. And there we go. That should just about do. And don't worry about if it's a little uneven at this point in time. That's to be expected, especially if you're using multiple texture stamps. If you're using one texture stamp, it won't be uneven, but because we did use multiple, it's going to be a little uneven, and that will get sorted out once it gets shaved and then burnished. Then grab a tissue blade, nice thin tissue blade, and shave over the surface. Okay, and you're not going to see a lot of the white. The white is only going to show up a tiny amount, so don't expect it to show up much. But you're just going to shave over that pattern until you're happy with it. And undershave rather than overshave, because you're going to be sanding, and so there's going to be a little bit more of that image that gets lifted up later. So if you're not sure where to stop, stop before you go too far, because you can solve it later if it needs to be. And just continue shaving that pattern until you're happy. And there we go. That's how it should look. Then grab a piece of paper and burnish this piece to get it to lie flat. And this is going to smooth out any raised texture areas, and this is also going to just take the pattern and smooth it out flat. I'd recommend doing it with your fingers first and then using a roller. Don't roll. Instead, use it as a burnishing tool rather than rolling it, because that will distort the pattern. Okay, and that should do. Then grab a firm tissue blade and lift that up off the tile. And I'm going to apply it to a piece of paper so that I can then burnish it again, because that distorted it a little bit. And I am actually going to encourage it distorting a little bit, because these lines are never going to be completely straight, so in that case pushing and pulling it a little bit will make it look way more purposeful. And actually I quite like how that looks. You're just going to give that a burnish, and that will both smooth out the front and the back between two pieces of paper. And we'll prepare it for the cutter. And you can use a template if you want to. It does not need to be a cutter. A cutter is generally more accurate because you can just get it in one cut, but use whichever one you want. Okay, and I'm just making sure to get this step done well, because the more you spend time on this step, the less sanding you have to do later, and personally I prefer this over the sanding. I'll just show you how that looks. And of course, everything I'm doing here you could apply to things like earrings if you wanted to. It does not need to be a bracelet. And let's see, do I like that? I think I'm actually going to move up a bracelet because I like how this has come out. So I'm going to position it so that this monstera leaf area is sitting in the middle. And then I'm going to rest down, applying my whole body weight against it. And then once you've got it going a bit, you can then use, oh excuse me, jeepers creepers. Then once you've got it going, you can apply your roller to get that cut down the rest of the way, because it can help you apply a bit more pressure. Okay. Then I will actually pull away at the edges. There we go. And again, great scraps. Don't toss that. Use that for a lot of different things. And this might stick in the cutter because it's on a piece of paper. But you should be able to just nudge it out of there without too much trouble. And there's what the back looks like. I'm quite happy with how the back looks. I'm not going to do anything to that. I'll leave that exactly as it is. And then you're going to want something to bake this on. You can either use a glass or you can use a metal bracelet bank, which is what I'm going to be using. Okay, and here is that blank. And you just use this over and over again. It's not a one-time use. Just apply that down. And I am going to be applying clasps to this, so I'm not worried about it being the correct width, because that is too big of an opening. I just want something that is going to generally give it the round shape, and then once I've got that, then I worry about the exact diameter. And just take this opportunity to just smooth down the edges like so. And then I'm going to pop that into the oven to bake for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature. Okay, and here it is out of the oven once it's cooled. So it should be quite flexible. If you don't want it to be this flexible, either make the piece thicker, or I recommend using a harder brand of clay such as Kato. If I make bracelets and I don't want to add a closure at the end and don't want them to be too thick, I will usually use Kato because it's quite a bit firmer than Primo. But before we worry about closures, I need to sand it, and so I'm going to be using some polishing papers. And this is already quite smooth, so I'm going to skip the first two grits and start with this one. If you need to, then use some rougher grits. But you're just going to take that and you're just going to go over the surface and you're going to polish it. And I'm only going to do this on the front and the sides. The back, I am going to leave a matte finish. I have already gone over the back with a 400 grit polishing paper just to get rid of any shiny spots that may have been left by the metal blank. But I'm not going to worry about polishing it. I'm going to leave it matte. And this you're just going to sand like so. You can already see how that's given it a little bit of a satin sheen. And then just go around the edges like so. And a nice thing about this being made from the Skinner Blend Bullseye canes is the edge actually looks quite cool. There's no need to clean up the edges at all because the pattern already is quite nice as it is. But just go up through the grits and you should end up with a light polish at the end. Okay, and you should end up with something that looks like this. Light shine, but nothing too much. I'm not going to buff the piece because I want to keep the satin finish on it. If you want something with a little more shine, you can always give it a buff. Now, the next step is going to be to drill either end so that we can attach some jump rings. So I've just got a handheld pin drill here, and I'm just supporting the clay with my finger because I don't really have an ability to drill it on a hard surface, so I have to use my finger for that. So just, if you're doing that, go slow so that you don't end up poking yourself when it comes through the other end. And just make sure you clean up that hole, clear away the extra clay, and you might need to go through a couple more times just to make sure that it's nice and clean. Here we go. Then do the other side. Okay. Then I've got two large jump rings for that, and then I've got two smaller jump rings and a clasp that matches the theme of the bracelet. And all you do, very simple, is you just grab those jump rings, you open them up, pop them through the hole, and I'll just attach that jump ring too. Close it up, and I'm using antique copper so that it matches the kind of burnt umber brown. Okay, and then I'm going to grab that jump ring, and this can be a little fiddly, so just bear with me while I do this. Just open that up, slide that clasp on, and close the jump ring up. And there we go, that's the one side of your clasp. Then repeat on the other side. Okay, and there we go, that's how it should look. And the clasp should span naturally across where your bracelet kind of wants to start pulling slightly, so it shouldn't be floppy. But yeah, that is pretty much it. A nice easy bracelet that I think looks quite effective. Bear in mind that you can change up the colours, you don't have to use the ones that I'm using. I went with kind of a jungle theme, so I went with the textures and the colours to match. You could of course change the colours and the textures to something more beachy or more floral. Blossoms, cherry blossoms would actually look quite nice. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and if you liked the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, as I do videos like this just about every single day. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will get to them as soon as possible. And if you'd like to support the channel so I can continue doing videos just like this one, please do consider becoming a member. There is a join button just below this video where you can become a member of the channel, where you can see exclusive videos that aren't posted on the regular page. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.